So my name's Jacqui Lacy and I'm head of AusAID here in Indonesia, and my job is to make sure that Australia's aid program in Indonesia is working really well and achieving results. So AusAID is working in Indonesia for three reasons. First of all, Indonesia is our neighbour and friend, so we really care about development here. Secondly, there are a large number of very poor people still in Indonesia, so there's 120 million people living on less than $2 a day. And the third reason is that our aid program is really working here. We're getting great results. So our aid program to Indonesia next year will be at $580 million, and that's our biggest program anywhere, and it's because Indonesia is our neighbour, but it's the neighbour that has by far the largest number of poor people. Development in Indonesia really matters to Australia, first of all because I think Australians really care about delivering better outcomes for poor people, especially in our neighbours. And when you get to see the lives of poor people in Indonesia, you really want to help improve them. But Indonesia's development is also really important for Australia. Our futures are really strongly intertwined, so if we can help Indonesia be stable and prosperous instead of a country returning to conflict or with greater growing numbers of poverty, then that's good for Australia. It's also really good for Indonesia. Three of our top priorities here for our program in Indonesia is education, which is getting more kids into school and helping them learn more while they're at school. The second is helping mothers have their babies safely so that they can survive childbirth. A woman in Indonesia is 40 times more likely to die having a baby than a woman in Australia, and that's a terrible statistic that we're trying to help address. Our third priority is giving poor people access to clean water. If people have access to clean water, then the kids aren't going to get sick, they can stay in school, parents can continue to earn money. It's really important for communities. So we selected our three focus areas for a couple of reasons. First, they're areas that really matter to poor people. They're really fundamental to improving their lives. Secondly, they're areas where we know with our support we can make a very big difference. And thirdly, they're areas where the Indonesian government specifically asked us for support. Our programs here have been really successful. So in our education program, we've helped 330,000 poor Indonesian kids get an education. Without our support, they would have all had to have dropped out of school straight after primary school and gone straight into work, mostly in the agriculture sector, but now they can continue their education. In water supply, we've helped nearly 500,000 Indonesians in just the last year get access to clean water in their houses and in their villages. So that's a large number of people we've supported. And in maternal health, we've helped hundreds of women survive childbirth by training over 5,000 midwives in one of the poorest parts of Indonesia. It's really important to be able to measure whether or not our programs are working, and the first and most important thing is to be very clear about what we're going to achieve. So we don't say we're going to improve education in Indonesia. What we say is we're going to give 300,000 children a school place. So first of all, you've got to be very clear about what you're going to achieve, and then you've got to have in place systems for being able to measure whether or not you're achieving it. And we have a lot of staff on the ground here in Indonesia to help us see whether we're achieving those very specific goals. It's really important in development that our programs last well beyond when we're working there, that they last after we've walked away. And we do that by making sure we work really closely with Indonesian organisations. So the schools that we build, they're not Australian schools, they're part of the Indonesian government school system. So although they were built with Australian financing, the teachers, the textbooks, the maintenance is all provided by the Indonesian government. So the main benefit of our program to Indonesia is the really big impact we're having on the lives of millions of really poor Indonesians. That's overridingly the most important impact of our program. The benefits to Australia are really by helping Indonesia grow and remain stable, a country that's our neighbour and our trading partner. That's good for us as well. Working in development is really challenging. We're working in areas of the world that are very broken, otherwise you wouldn't need aid donors coming in to assist. But we know our program in Indonesia is very successful. We've been independently reviewed last year and they concluded we were very successful. But I think one of the biggest challenges in Indonesia as a donor is the sheer scale of Indonesia. 240 million people spread across 18,000 islands. So while we can do good things in one area, we need to work in ways that we have impact on all of those people. I think for development to work, you need two things. You need a stronger government that can provide really important basic services like schools and health clinics. So that's one side of development. But the other side of development is we need to build stronger communities and stronger families. And non-government organisations like World Vision are really strong natural partners for working with those communities and those families. So they're really a good partner for us here in Indonesia. It's really important for Australia to engage with Asia. We're part of a global village these days. Australia's future is really intertwined with the future of the world, and Asia is our neighbourhood and Asia is our future. When you think about the growing numbers of jobs in Australia that are dependent on Asia's growth, if you think about some of the soft threats to Australia's future, like outbreaks of new diseases or the movement of refugees, are all dependent on cooperation from Asian countries. So the more we can have a good relationship with Asia and help it grow and remain stable, then the better it is for us in Australia. I do this job because I love it. I'm really passionate about development. I think we get tremendous results with the money that we spend, and I find it fulfilling every day I come to work.